Hola.
Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. It is $5 Tuesday locked in. We got college football semifinals, we got NBA, and of course, we got to get you some college basketball. We got WTF, LFG, and of course, all around the world with some free plays. Being joined as always by my good friend, Dan Alexander. Dan, who do we have on the lineup for today? Great show.
Yeah, this is how you know, Andy, we are nearing the twilight of football season because we are transitioning to talking way more hardwood. We're going to get you NHL plays here on the show. And of course, props all along the way. Jesse Schule going to kick things off. Spurs and Grizzlies, he'll be breaking down. And then you know he's coming on here with the fade train, full steam ahead. Two teams that he's going to be fading in college football action. Of course, that is CFP semis. And then we're going to be talking with Ralph Michaels. He's got some plays for you on the hardwood. We're going to talk Georgia, Florida, and we're going to talk Duke, Louisville, two of the biggest college basketball games tonight. So if you haven't been paying attention to college basketball, folks, we're going to be getting you ready here. And then we're wrapping things up. That's right. Stay to the end because the Prez will be joining us. And watch for the free play, sure, but for whatever the hell Prez is going to do on air, you never know. But we know he's talking Panthers, Leafs, Bruins, Krakens. You have all around the world props. I have a play in some EPL action for the folks in WTF and LFG. So, Andy, locked and loaded on a Tuesday. Good to see you, brother. Let's ride.
Let's rock. Let's bring in Jesse. And while we're doing that, you guys know, you always ask you, just please take a second, hit the like button. Really helps the algorithm out. Please, please, please. All right, Jesse, we're going to get started with NBA, and then we'll go to the teams you're going to fade. Limited suspects in the fade train in college football.
4 teams to pick from.
Yeah, you don't have too many. But let's talk this NBA game. We got a really, really good one here. Spurs and Grizzlies. It does not look like Wemby is going to play, as you were telling me earlier. This Grizzlies team is ravaged by injuries. Spurs are going to be 6-point favorites over under 239.5. Tell us what your thoughts are on this game, and I know you got a player prop you like in this one.
Yeah, Andy, I mean, the big thing here is will Wemby play or will he not play? I haven't seen anything official, but as I mentioned off air, I'm going to handicap this as if he's not playing because it just doesn't make any sense to bring a guy like that back on the first leg of a back-to-back against the Grizzlies when you got the Lakers on deck tomorrow night at home. Obviously, that's the more key game. So I'm assuming that's what they're going to do. That's normally what we see in situations like this. Star players don't come back for the first leg of a back-to-back when that's against a team that's not a playoff team like the Grizzlies. The Spurs without Wemby, though, if you're thinking they're in trouble because Wemby's not going to play, think again. They're 10-4 in games that he hasn't played so far this season. They're also 4-1 in back-to-backs this season. On no rest. Now, this isn't a no rest situation. It's the first leg. But I'm going to give out a lean for this game. I'm not betting it. Last week I gave out a lean and the guys in the comments crucified me. My actual play is going to be on a player prop. Don't sleep on that. Don't ignore it. That's where I want the money to go. But I will lean Spurs just because the Grizzlies are a bit of a mess right now. But we're going to look at the player prop market because with Wemby likely to not be playing, and we know Devin Vassell is also not playing. He's out. Who's going to step up? Who's going to fill that void as far as scoring? And I have the perfect candidate for that, Keldon Johnson. He's number 5 on the team in scoring. So if Vassell and Wemby don't play, that bumps him up to the 3rd leading scorer. This is a guy that was, I believe he was their leading scorer in 2023, averaging 22 points per game. He's no longer playing starters minutes, but I expect him to play starters minutes tonight with Vassell out of the lineup. He is averaging 13.2 points, 6.5 rebounds, 1.4 assists in 23 minutes per game. I think he plays closer to 30 minutes tonight, and I think he gets over his number of 18.5 points and rebounds. Of course, it's projected to be a high-scoring game with the total sitting at 239.5, which means the Spurs team total as the favorite is well over 120. So betting the player props over in games that correlate with a high total. And then given that we could see a bump up in minutes for Keldon Johnson, I think this is a positive EV prop bet. And my lean on the side, I don't want to hear any complaints about it. The prop bet, Keldon Johnson over 18.5 points and rebounds. Thank you very much.
I got to be honest. I love these guys coming off the bench. There's some real value in these because you're getting low numbers, but look at some of these bench guys. Like you said, he comes off the bench. He's playing starter minutes. And what's nice is he's coming in against the bench guys of the other team, which is, we hit our play last night and it was the exact same thinking. Like, hey, Javonte Green for the Pistons, he's going to come in and play against the bench guys. So he gets a little bit easier matchup. So I love where you're going.
Last weekend, both you and I had not the exact same bet. We had the same player. We had LaRavia, right, for the Lakers. Same situation. Hachimura out. He steps up. You hit your points total. I missed my PRA bet. That said, I did continue to ride him, and I don't know if you paid attention, but he's really lighting it up since. So I did make that one pay in the end.
Did you just say, have I been paying attention to Jake LaRavia props? Jesse, how dare you? I am insulted that you would think that
born on Jake LaRavia props. Damn it.
Talking about it, right up my alley. Jesse, it's a beautiful Friday where I'm at. I know it's going to be a big one for $5 Tuesday. Tell everyone what you have up for today.
So the NFL playoffs up this weekend. We got the wild card round. In last year's playoffs, I just dominated the entire playoffs. I thought I was going to finish at the top of the leaderboards, but unfortunately, Rob Vino passed me on Super Bowl Sunday, and both me and Rob hit well over 70% for the playoffs last season. You can get us both for the entire playoffs for $249. That's up on the deals page right now. I was 100% perfect last Sunday. I was 100% perfect the Sunday prior with the NFL. I'm feeling it. I'm hot, heading into the playoffs once again.
Awesome. Let's talk about one of my favorite segments that emerged over this college football season. At the beginning of the season, we told Jesse, you can come on and fade or bet on teams, and every week it's like, no, we're fading. So
and one bet on.
This,
for those of you keeping score at home, we haven't had one bet on.
This is also this is what started us making bets and winning you guys 3-day passes. So, Jesse, we got two teams that we have to fade this week. Who did you pick? And then we'll go head to head and try and win someone a 3-day pass.
Well, let's start with the team that I bet on last week and won. And before I get into it, I just want to point out how astute, how sharp the people in the chat are, because we gave them the chance to ride with Jesse or ride with Andy. And I only saw one guy riding with Andy, and I saw dozens of guys riding with Jesse, with Miami to upset Ohio State. And we did cash that one in spectacular fashion. And we got to go right back with Miami in a fade of Ole Miss. I did have Georgia last week, unfortunately. And, things looked fine in the first half, but Trinidad Chambliss for the Rebels, the dude played out of his mind. What did he throw for? 362 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 30 of 46 passing. And I did mention in my analysis for the play on Georgia that they struggled to rush the passer in the regular season. Now, their defense came on at the end of the year. I thought that they would do a little bit better, but they didn't get to Trinidad Chambliss, and he was running like a madman behind the line of scrimmage, making the magic happen. But this week he's facing the Miami Hurricanes, 7 sacks against Texas A&M, 5 sacks against Ohio State. This Miami defense is lights out. They're for real. They can run the ball. They got a veteran quarterback in Carson Beck. I think we have to fade the Ole Miss Rebels. It's been a Cinderella story. It's been a great story. They still have the majority of their coaching staff flying back and forth to Baton Rouge because they're under contract from LSU, not even employed by the Ole Miss Rebels. They're actively recruiting players in the transfer portal. They might be actively recruiting players on the current Ole Miss roster. That hasn't hurt them yet, but it may hurt them in the end, and I got to go with Miami in this game. So we will take Miami to defeat Ole Miss in this semis matchup.
care to make things interesting in this game? Cinderella's still dancing, man. Cinderella's still dancing at this ball. It ain't midnight. It's 11:30, 11:30-ish here. So I don't know. I love this Ole Miss team. Lane Kiffin pulled his nonsense. They laid the smackdown against Tulane. They straight up bullied Georgia. I don't think they're done yet. I think they got one more in them. So I'll take the Ole Miss side. Jesse keeps rolling with Miami. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So Dan, tell everyone we're giving away a 3-day pass on this one. How can they win?
Yeah, it's pretty simple, folks. All you have to do after the video goes live, and it's never official, so we hear the boxing bell. That's how you know. Comment below after the video goes live. You got two sides here, and we are going with Andy. You comment Andy in your WagerTalk username if you think Ole Miss is going to cover this game. And if you think the other side, Miami, is going to continue this run, ride with Jesse and comment Jesse with your WagerTalk username. To be entered, folks, you have to do those two simple things. WagerTalk username, who you think is going to be covering. Comment it below after the video goes live. And boom, if your side covers, if your guy wins for you here, you're winning a free 3-day flex pass. That's simple. And it's always a good excuse to use the soundboard here, Andy. We need to work this in a little.
I feel pretty confident the chat's going to ride the hot hand this week.
I feel like you're right. If I was setting a line.
Who's the hot hand? Who's the hot hand? They've both been winning. Who's the hot hand? Oh, you?
Jesse, I think is patting himself on the back. He's full of steak and chimichurri, Andy. The man is feeling good.
I'm gonna get your fasting stories after this. But what's the next team that we're looking to fade this week?
So we faded Oregon last week, and we weren't wrong about everything. Texas Tech absolutely dominated on defense, but they couldn't score any points. It was 6-0 at halftime. It was 16-0 with 16 seconds to go. Oregon tacked on another meaningless touchdown. If you had told me that Oregon was going to score 6 points in the first half and 16 points with 16 seconds left, I would have loved my bet with Texas Tech. Unfortunately, Texas Tech couldn't score nothing. However, if you look at that game, the Ducks with 47 carries for 64 yards. I'm not very good at math, ladies and gentlemen, but that's just 1.4 yards per carry. The Ducks offense turned it over on downs 4 times. They're going to have to be a lot better against Indiana, and we've already seen these two teams play at Austin Stadium in Eugene, Oregon, and it didn't go well for the Ducks. It was a 30-20 loss. Dante Moore did not play well in that game. 186 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. Indiana has no flaws. Their defense, they can get after the quarterback. They're the number 2 ranked rush defense in the league, or in the country, sorry. Nobody's running on Indiana right now, and Oregon really needs to run the ball to be successful. I mean, I guess if they're going to pitch a shutout, they don't need to run the ball, as we saw last week, but I just don't fancy their chances of doing that against Indiana. Laying 4 points with Indiana for me is still a bargain. They've been the best team right out of the gates. They're starting to get some respect, but I still don't think they're getting enough respect. I think they should be a 6.5-point favorite in this game. I think they win by more than a touchdown. Give me the Hoosiers.
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious I wasn't going head-to-head with you on this game. So
yeah, I'm shocked.
That's how when Andy goes, a little limited.
You would care to make this more interesting? I knew. I was like, well, I have a feeling what Jesse's going to be picking next, because there's no way Andy, former Hoosier graduate, obviously, was going to be fading that squad. So yeah, Dan Lanning could be the end here, says Jesse. You can also comment below. Let us know what you think about that one. Well, Jesse, always a pleasure, buddy. Best of luck.
Hold on, I want to hear about his fast. I want to hear about his fast and his picanha. Yeah. All right. So you did a fast after the holidays, and then you had that big 5-pounder of picanha. So how did the fast go, and how was when you got back on food?
The chat was
okay. So the first 24 hours is hell, right? Because you wake up in the morning, you want to eat breakfast, and you're like, there's no breakfast, and that stresses you out a little bit. It's even worse at lunchtime. And then by dinner time, you're like, this is madness. Who in their right mind would do this to themselves? But if you make it through that, you get a good night's sleep. You wake up in the morning. The next day is a breeze. You just drink your water and electrolytes. 5 days in, I felt great. The last day was a cakewalk. And I had somebody comment in the chat. They said, "Don't you dare eat a big steak to break your fast. You're going to kill yourself." And I told them, I said, "It's not my first rodeo. I actually ate probably 1 kilo of barbecued meat and 4 or 5 big bowls of salad all in one go. And I felt fantastic. Never felt better. I felt like I shaved a decade off my age. And yeah, that's how good I felt.
Awesome.
Yeah, there is more I can tell you, but we have to save it for off air.
No, in the comments though, they were like, "Jesse, don't eat the steak. Don't eat the steak. You're gonna kill you." But look, Jesse's still standing.
Do they know who they're talking to?
This is true. This is Mr. Wonderful after all.
Jesse, one more time, what do you have up for everyone at Wager Talk?
So the best special for the NFL playoffs, myself and Rob Vino, $249, gets you all my plays and Rob Vino's plays. We were number 1 and number 2 in the playoffs last year.
It's a beautiful special, Jesse. Thank you so much. This Ole Miss, Miami, Florida just got a little bit more interesting. So thank you very much to Jesse. Let's do WTF LFG, Dan.
Yeah, I got a little something here for you, Andy. Just to recap, obviously didn't have a play yesterday because yesterday was absolute hell for me behind the scenes, but we're back with the play. We got a little action for you folks in EPL. That's right. We're talking NBA today, college basketball, NHL coming up with Prez. We got a little soccer play here for you. 10-5 on these WTF LFG plays, coming off a loss on the weekend when Tony Pollard had 1 million carries but couldn't get 66 yards. Also, Andy, I'll say, when we can address this another time, the whole player incentive bet on is dead. I believe the player incentives went like 1-18 in week 18. So that used to be an angle that Andy and I loved. It's become too public. It's dead. So let's move on from that and take a look here at the EPL marquee matchup, folks. West Ham taking on Nottingham Forest. This is 2 teams who are hanging out at the bottom of the table in EPL. So we love these stinky games, Andy. West Ham, they haven't won a match in the EPL since November. Nottingham, it was about mid-December since they won. So both of these teams have to view today as, oh my God, we might actually be able to get a decision done. And in that ilk, I think there could be some goals in this game today. I think both teams are going to play pretty loose, not really play too tight, probably be pushing a little bit aggressive. And when teams do that, it opens up a potential counterattack. Last time the team faced off earlier in the season, it was a 3-0 win for West Ham. So even if this is a dominating win for one of these sides, we've seen bad offenses be able to score against both of these teams. I think the looseness for these teams is going to get set up for an over. Only 2.5 because of how bad these teams have been, and you're getting it at -110. I think we're going to see about a 2-1 final, could even see a 3-1 final. So if you want a little plus money, you could also do both teams to score and the over 2.5. That's +120. But we'll just grade it, Andy. Let's get a win here. Over 2.5 goals. West Ham, Nottingham Forest. Disgusting. WTF or LFG.
It is disgusting. The difficult decision you have when you have 2 bad teams playing is it's like, well, their defense is bad, but also their offense is pretty bad as well. So I will go with LFG.
That's maybe just a LG. I don't know if you didn't say it with enough gusto that it was an LFG. So we'll just give it a let's go, a tepid let's go, Andy. I can live with that.
Let's have it like 1-0 and then a penalty right before halftime.
And then we get to sweat the whole second half.
Then they push the second half and we get one. So that's what I think is going to happen. It's going to be 1-0. Then there's going to be a penalty and then we get another.
Our buddy
one.
Mike, of course, he's on the under. I respect that, Mike. Appreciate you commenting. I appreciate everyone commenting while you're watching, folks. Make sure you hit that like button. It's a huge way to say thanks for what you're doing. If you haven't already, we're approaching 240,000 subscribers. We give you all this free info all day long. Obviously, we let you know what we have for premium clients. But for those of you who are watching, biggest way to thank us, tell your friends, subscribe, and like. Andy, we got both teams to score. Like it, Beast and Brian. So maybe we could have a 1-1, tie. Who knows? But we want the over is the full-on bet. But I'm glad to know at least one person thinks both of these offenses can actually score. Ralph Michaels is coming up. We're going to talk Duke, Louisville, Georgia, Florida, and get some thoughts here from Ralph. But first, Andy, 4 straight NBA winners for you, man. It has been a great run here. Let's continue. Last night, we cashed a 4% for the folks. You got anything rocking today? Are we going NBA for $5 Tuesday? And as we move towards the weekend, should be a pretty big weekend for us as well, right?
Yeah, NBA's been good to us. We were stumbling in December, but we found our groove. We hit 4 straight winners. So the 4% last night was great. It was Javonte Green over a very low number on points. He comes in, gets over in the second half. So we're riding again with a 4% winner again tonight. And if you guys are all access clients, you've seen something new for this season. Along with the write-up, you're going to get my props market watch. So you're going to get like 5 or 6 leans with some small write-ups. These are just props for you guys to take a look at. If any of them strike your fancy, you can play them. But you're going to get very detailed write-up on the best bet along with the props market watch. That's new for 2026. It's only $5. It's a great chance to see how our new write-ups are going to go. We got great feedback on them, all positive. So it's $5. We also have a promo code Andy100. We're starting a new show today. Right after this, I'm going to record Prop Line. It's where we go over NBA props. We give out a same game parlay. We go over hot streaks, cold streaks, streaks that are just starting. So it's an action-packed week. I'm excited about the new show, and that's why we're running the promo code. You get 30 days, $100 off, Andy100. We're already up, 17, 18 units in January, so we're really excited. I love the streak we're on in NBA. $5, NBA 4%er. Get there shorter, wt.buzz/AL. Really, really excited about the play tonight, Dan. Absolutely love
Let's go. That's a LFG, baby. $5 will get you to play. And Andy, also, those folks who hop on that Andy 100, I just saw college lacrosse lines have been posted. So January 31st, the college lacrosse season. Andy and his clients know this is one of our favorite times of year. I, a collegiate lacrosse player, I feel like we have a good read. Obviously, nothing is certain. But looking forward to the lacrosse season, and we'll have plays by the end of the month in that, Andy. So exciting times indeed, and even more exciting because we have Ralph Michaels joining the show here. The stat father, the pen. Yes, he is here. Ralph, how are we doing on this Tuesday, brother?
Doing great, guys. Always enjoy your banter. Dan, you bring a lot of energy to the show, and you play it off. And it's always an enjoyable Tuesday listening to you two.
All right, buddy. Well, I say we get into it because we've talked enough about EPL. I'm sure people want to know what's happening in college basketball. Yesterday on the show, Ralph, when we were going through power rankings for Yanni, he was mentioning that Duke is, for the guys that he trusts, is near the top, if not his number 1 power rated team. They're taking on Louisville today, and I'm wondering your thoughts on them on the season. This game is essentially a pick 'em. It's one here, one there. How are you breaking this game down, and what do you think about both of these teams as we're rolling through the season here?
Well, you look at how the teams have been built, 2 completely separate ways. Duke, with their young freshmen, they are number 314 in terms of experience. Louisville, on the flip side, coming off the first year with a new head coach, a great season, they are actually number 21 in experience. 2 polar opposites. The one issue, if you're a Louisville fan here, is that your freshman, who doesn't get counted in that D1 experience, Mikel Brown, he is their best player by far, their leading scorer, leading assist. He has missed the last 4 games, and he is out for this game. Duke now 13-1. They have played the number 39 schedule. Louisville has played the number 49 schedule, so Duke 10 spots better. Louisville does have 3 losses against Arkansas on the road, Tennessee on the road, and Stanford on the road. They have played well at home. We'll see what happens tonight. Strong 3-point shooting teams. In fact, Louisville is number 1 in the country. 55% of their points come from 3-pointers. Duke, number 39, top 40. Both teams in the 100 range. So they're in the top third of shooting percentage. Number 102 and number 105 are their exact numbers. On defense, even better. number 52, and number 88. Now you look at Louisville, and as I told you, they're 13-1. But did you know they're 1-7 against the spread their last 8 games? That is not going to deter me from backing them here. I like what they've done. Again, they went to Florida State. They got the win at Florida State by 4. They didn't cover. They were a bigger favorite. They went to Michigan State and won. That impressed me. Playing Arkansas in the neutral game impressed me. Going to Army, that was a road game, just a money game that they decided to play, but they took care of Texas as well. While they are 1-7, and some people may be concerned about that, their one cover in their last 8 games, they were a 1-point favorite. In the 7 ATS losses, they were a double-digit favorite in all 7. So when you have a team that's poor on the ATS record, but they're poor because of their paying an inflated line, as Duke usually does, I'm not worried about it. The reason this didn't make my card is something we're not used to seeing from the Blue Devils. Their last 3 games, prior to the last 3 games, they have not allowed any opponent to shoot 44%. Nobody. Their last 3 games, 55.2% allowed, 53.7% allowed, 53.4%. I like Duke. I like fading Louisville without Mikal Brown, but that defense makes this a best bet for the show, and it keeps it off being a client release for my customers. Still like Duke, but there's better situations to find than fading it, than playing on a team with that poor of a defense their last 3 games.
We'll move down south to Georgia, Florida. Tell us what you know about these teams. How do you break this game down? Florida's a bigger favorite here, -9.5. Big total, over under 175. How do you read this game?
Well, you have Georgia. I mean, they are the highest scoring team in college basketball. And in fact, in the last 9 years, no team has gone into January averaging 99 points per game like the Georgia Bulldogs have done. They have struggled, though. They're 0-4 against the spread their last 4 games. They're 3-8 ATS their last 11 games. But again, let's break that down. 3-8 against the spread, but 6 of those ATS losses came as a double-digit favorite. So when we get into conference play, you truly have to look at competition semi-equal to what they're playing. Obviously, Georgia's not a double-digit favorite against Florida. But what concerns me about the Bulldogs is this. They are 13-1. Their only loss was against Clemson in a neutral setting. They lost by 3. But they have played the number 323rd schedule. They've played 2 top 60 teams the entire year. Clemson a loss, and Auburn in their last game. They did win that game in overtime. They did fail to cover, but I did like the gumption they had. Auburn scored a last-second shot to push it to OT. Georgia rebounded and got the win. On the Florida side, Florida playing with pace this year as well. They're number 68 with tempo. They are only 9-5, but they have played a brutal schedule. They are number 14. They played the 14th toughest schedule. Their losses: number 2 Arizona, neutral setting. Number 53 TCU, a neutral setting. At Duke, they only lost by 1. Semi-away game against UConn, they only lose by 4. And now to Missouri, they only lost by 2 in their last game, all on the road. Obviously back at home, but again, this is by far the strongest competition they've played at home. Despite Georgia struggling and not playing a strong schedule, I do like their pace. I do like their offense. They are not a 3-point shooting team. They are a 2-point team. They pass the ball a lot. They do not turn the ball over on offense. They're number 38 in the country. They do force turnovers on defense. They're number 32. You look at Florida. Florida is not good on turnovers, either offense or defense. They're number 229 and number 286. The Bulldogs are number 9 in bench minutes. They have 11 guys that are averaging over 12 minutes a game, and their leading minute stat builder, is only averaging 26 yards per game. So you have 11 players all playing in that range. 10 of those players have had double-digit scores. We don't need one player for Georgia to have a big game. Many weapons, they can keep it close. I think the Bulldogs are a live backdoor opportunity pressing this pace in the second half against a Florida team whose bench minutes are number 330. That means only 30 teams have played their starters more than Florida. Huge bench, huge pace. Georgia cuts the deficit in the second half. Backdoor cover for the Bulldogs tonight.
Ooh, I like it. That's a great stat about how many guys are playing that many minutes. You really don't see that often, and that's really impressive. They got 11 guys that can go that many minutes.
Yeah, and again, their bench right now are playing 44% of their minutes. So, it really is split between those 10 guys. Almost, they do hockey waves. They really have like 4 guys. They do hockey waves, which why their defensive pressure is so good and their offensive pressure is so good because those guys are accustomed to play each other. Some teams shift their 1s and 2s and mishmash. Georgia is almost like a hockey wave where they're bringing in those same guys, those guards, tandems that play together. And it doesn't matter if it's the first or seconds, they keep those crews together.
Ralph, I want to get to what you have up real quick. We have a question in the chat. Explain what the guarantee is on the WagerTalk website. There might be a little bit of confusion in the chat. When we have a play up and it says guarantee, explain how the guarantee works.
Well, the guarantee is simple. If you feel you would like the guarantee, you pay an additional 50%, and a game does not cover, you get a credit to use for that handicapper. So it's simple. If it does not cover, you get that credit back, full credit for what you paid. So, I would say this, probably only about 10 to 15% of the people use the guaranteed. And more people do on Tuesday because they're new and it's only $2.50 additional. So, it's really your choice. Do you feel the satisfaction of knowing that you are going to have those funds back if it doesn't cover? Or do you think that your capper is going to win over 50% of the time, which would behoove you to not use that guarantee?
Okay. All right. Very well explained. Hope that explains to you in the chat. If you have any other questions, leave it in the comment section below. Ralph, it's $5 Tuesday. Great day. A lot of sports this week. What do you have up for everyone?
I have a rare NHL 4% total. Only my 4th of the year. I'm 2-1 on them this year. The trends on this game are remarkable. They're 39-2, 95%. That is only $5. And I want to mention one more special. This week, do not buy a 3-day package from anybody, guys. The 7-day all access is the exact same price as the 3-day all access. So you're getting 7 days for $69. Jesse wasn't good at math, but I can figure this one out. That's under $10 a day for 7 days, all sports, any of your favorite cappers. And I do want to mention this, guys. I'm doing my Bet On It TNA video for the NFL playoffs. There's a lot of interesting wildcard situations for sides and totals. Make sure you check that out on WagerTalk TV later today. And Dan, get your head out of the gutter. TNA means trends and angles, not what you're thinking.
Okay. Yeah, I was a little distracted there. I was a little bit taken aback there.
The great Ralph Michaels and his good friend, The Pen. Thank you very much, Ralph. Great segment. Thank you for those breakdowns. So, you want to get right to Prez? Let's first. We had a comment. We want to do Bayou's comment.
People saw the end of the show yesterday. Andy was getting tongue lashing in the comments from someone who bet on Jerron Holmes, I believe the name was. There is no Jerron Holmes, obviously, in the NBA. So Andy and I were having a little fun with it. Bayou mentioned your prop, Andy, on Seymour Wiener. Unfortunately, it didn't come through.
Yeah, so Seymour Wiener turned into Seymour Bricks, lost by the hook.
What's going to happen?
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
Sometimes that happens. Huge ass also did not have a great night on the hardwood. So if that's not a great segue into talking to our man Prez, I don't know what. Where the hell are you? Where are you?
I'm in Boca at the Polo Club. There's a golf course to my left. Just for the record, I want a tongue lashing really badly. Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah,
we'll go to that. I should pull that video you sent me earlier. We can probably do that at that massage parlor, Prez. That you were,
dude. I don't know why you wouldn't put that video on. Like I text you a video. I'm like, Dan, do you want to go? And you're like, hell yeah, I want to go.
I think we would get banned on YouTube. It's
no, I was thinking we would go as partners, Dan.
Couples massage. YouTube.
Prez and I at a couples massage would be crazy. It would be absolutely crazy. So how's Boca, man? Are you still picking winners down there? How you doing?
I don't start poker until Thursday. So yeah, I golfed yesterday. I'm going to golf today. Just doing 9 holes. I actually golfed with Joe Ranieri yesterday, and I got to tell you, boys, that dude is a freaking athlete. Like, period, end of story.
Professional baseball. Like, that's like one of the fun facts that like not a lot of people know about Joe. Is he's a Division I athlete and played professional baseball.
Like, but he doesn't play enough golf to be good. I mean, we played 9 holes. He got 2 birdies, which is just unbelievable. I don't get a birdie in 100 holes, but he also blows up, right? He just doesn't play enough. But man, what an athlete! And I show up and there he is standing in the parking lot. Cargo, beige cargo pants, a beige polo shirt with the collar, and then he had like a beige jacket. I was surprised he didn't have an ask-off going. I mean, that dude is so freaking studly. Mark Zeno called and asked for some of Joe's machismo.
That's saying something. That's saying something. And by the way, Morning Wager with Mark Zeno and Brian Power is back on our sister channel, Picks and Parlays. So you can check that out now. Exciting that stuff is back. So Prez, always great to see you on here. I say we get into it, right, Andy? Let's talk a little Florida and Maple Leafs. Your Maple Leafs, Prez, indeed. Yeah. And Joe Ranieri's Florida Panthers. Apropos, how are we betting this one?
Well, I mean, listen, I look at this game and I think to myself, man, which team is coming in hotter? Which team is playing at home? The Toronto Maple Leafs. And the Toronto Maple Leafs lose to Florida on a regular basis in April. They beat Florida on a regular basis during the regular season. They've already played once this year in Florida. The Leafs won 4-1. And I'm looking at this game as strictly a value proposition. Why would I want to take the Florida Panthers as a road favorite? This team, sure, they won their last game, a big one against the Colorado Avalanche, a very hard team to beat. But this team has lost 2 of their last 3 games, and they really haven't gotten on a roll all year. They're playing a Leaf team that has not lost in regulation in 6 straight and playing the best hockey they've been playing all season long. Plus, on top of that, Austin Matthews is on fire right now, 10 points in his last 5 games. I get that William Nylander is out, but so is Barkov and so is Tkachuk. I'm going to look here to take the home dog. I mean, it's not really a dog. It's plus 100, but hey, Chihuahuas count. We're taking the Leafs on the money line. That's what I like in this game, brother.
Your team is like... The thing your team's been missing this year is that big win streak. I think, what is it? Like 3 games? You guys haven't had that like, they just
and nor is Florida.
Like 10 out of 12.
And nor is
the
Florida.
Same way. Yeah, it's almost like those winning streaks are what separate the teams at the top to the teams in the middle. It's just that one big win streak.
And it's so tight, right? But I think the win streak is coming for the Leafs. I think one of Florida or Toronto does not make the playoffs. Bayou Bets writes over 4.5 edibles taken for Prez on the golf trip. That's a man who does not do edibles, bro. Because over 4.5 watts, 2 milligrams, try over 40.
What size?
10 milligrams, I'm still over 4.5. 20 milligrams, I'm under 4.5. So we need to understand the dosage here, Bayou. But I am a professional. Andy, I absolutely love that sweater on you. It fits beautifully, and the color is spectacular.
I love the WagerTalk hoodies. They are the absolute. I absolutely love wearing them. I wear them outside of the show as well. So let's talk these Bruins and Kraken. The Bruins just broke I believe they won 2 in a row after kind of a bad losing streak here. Kraken, they're in a lot of unders. I know they've gone over the last 2 games, but to me, they strike me as an under team. We got Boston as a little bit of a favorite off the 2 games. Over under 6. I don't know. You could talk me into an under on this one.
Yeah,
how's your breakdown?
That's what I would do, Andy. Is
Okay.
I would look to play the under, and especially, when you look at the Kraken, did they go under last game? Did they go over last game? Well, they went over 5.5, but they didn't go over 6, Andy. So, when you look at that 6 line, this is a really strong under to me. 5-1 against Calgary. They went over against Vancouver 4-3. But other than that, you go down the board, 4-1, 3-2, 4-1, 3-2, 3-1, 4-2. It's been a long time since the Kraken have played a 7-goal game other than the one 2 games ago. And when you look at Boston, this is another team that really reeks of unders here. 3-2 against Vancouver and under. Yes, Edmonton, they had probably their best game of the whole season, a 6-2 win. But before that, they put up 1. This is a Boston team that is finally starting to struggle to score. In their last 10 games, they put up 2-1, 2-2, 1-1, 3. That's 7 games out of 10 where they couldn't get over 3 goals, and 6 games out of 10 where they couldn't get over 2. So I think both of these teams are playing to the under. I don't know how you can't take the under here, especially if you guys can get a 6. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Andy. Guys, I got a bet that I want to talk to you guys about. Can we hijack the show?
I mean, you always do. This is natural, Prez.
Yeah, it is. So let's talk Super Bowl futures here, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Tell me a better bet than the Bills at 10-1. Explain that number to me, and I'm going to break this down real quick. I know you're not liking it, Dan. I can see with your face, but we're not saying that the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. We're saying from a value perspective, we're getting 10-1 on the Bills winning the Super Bowl. This is a veteran team that has been, all the way to the AFC Championship game. They have been 12 seconds and a field goal away from the Super Bowl. This is a team that looks around them and sees no Burrow, no Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson. This is the number 1 running offense in the league by far. I understand 160 yards a game. This is a team that has the number 1 rushing defense in the league. This is a team that just got Matt Milano back. This is a team that is stopping teams from passing the ball as well. This is a team that has probably the best quarterback left standing right now. This is a team that has a veteran coach. This is a team that is getting healthy. I don't understand this line, guys. I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're winning the Super Bowl. Bet them now straight up at -110. I think this might be their toughest matchup in Jacksonville. And the reason I say that is because Jacksonville is going to throw the ball more than any other team they face. And that is their weakness. If they can get through Jacksonville, smooth sailing ahead, guys. 10-1.
I'll go first, Dan. I'll go first. So here's one thing about it. So sometimes when we say, well, 10-1, well, all you got to do is bet them on the money line and you get better odds. Not the case.
Not this time around.
Yeah. So if you like the Bills to make you can't play the game of betting them every single game.
Right. I'm
with you. I think this Jags team, it may be the toughest team that they may face. I don't think they're scared of anyone else. I legit am more terrified of this game than the next game with them. I feel like this bet could be dead after this one, but at 10-1, if they beat Jacksonville, they potentially are favorites in any matchup that they may have. From a value perspective, I can't argue it. Again, you're not saying it's going to win.
Yeah.
But if you take 10-1 and they get past Jacksonville, what is this now? 4-1, 3-1?
Yeah, and that's the point, Dan. I'm hosting now. I'm going to throw to you after I say something. Our listeners, the listeners in the chat room are like, sorry, can't do that, Prez. I don't know I didn't want my Pats to get the Bills, blah, 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 blah. And then another person talks about, the Jags. Guys, this is a 10-1 bet. Yeah. If the Bills were some easy bet to win the Super Bowl, they would be minus 110, maybe 2-1, maybe 3-1, maybe 4, maybe 7-1. There's a reason they're 10-1. They're not a sure win they don't have a sure path to the Super Bowl, but man, 10-1, damn.
Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, so 10-1, 1,000%. If there is any team who I would be betting a Super Bowl future on at this point in the season, which is something I typically wouldn't do, the Bills is the one that makes the mark. Because Andy and I said about midway through the season when the playoffs were starting to come into focus, we were saying there's likely going to be no Mahomes in this playoffs. And we said about midway through the season, if Josh Allen and the Bills can't win the Super Bowl this year, it likely ain't happening. So
that's
I think
the other point.
I think they view it in the locker room as that same opportunity. You can also get them to win the AFC at 5-1. That's not a horrible bet either, but the 10-1 is really what makes a lot of sense. The thing for me, though, Prez, that gives me pause is the line that didn't make sense to me to start was how are they a road favorite in Jacksonville? And I feel like we're really discounting.
Look, I could break that down for you real quick. Firstly, let's really use the word favorite and dogs loosely.
It's 1.5.
Toronto is not a dog at plus 105 tonight. And Buffalo's not a favorite at minus 115. It's even money for all intents and purposes. And you understand this, Dan. Buffalo's got an army of bettors, bro. No matter how you slice it. They're from upstate New York. They have
insanely popular,
Yeah, they're an insanely popular team. Jacksonville barely plays to full stadiums, so I don't even know if they have a full stadium of bettors. And on top of that, Jacksonville has not had the world's toughest schedule. So let's take it with a grain of salt. Yeah. Now, I'm not sitting here telling you that Buffalo is the bet this Sunday against Jacksonville. But again, 10-1. What's Jacksonville's odds to win it all?
13.
Yeah, it's got to be something crazy. Let me look. Jacksonville.
13-1. So what bet would you rather have? Forget the game.
The 10-1 on the Bills. It makes a hell of a lot of sense. Because even if the Jags get through this game, like I think they could potentially do, this is a team who has more chance at faltering down the stretch than the Bills do.
So they don't match up. They don't match up great against Denver, and they don't match up great against New England. Whereas the Bills match up phenomenally against Denver.
Against those two teams. Yeah. But in this matchup, I really like Jacksonville's chance at taking down the Bills because, as you mentioned, number one rushing team in the league is what they're going to be facing against. However, only I think Jacksonville's top 5 in yards per attempt allowed on the rush.
Yeah,
also, they're the second best defense in drives that end with a turnover, and Josh Allen can fall into some turnover-prone moments. So,
you get Bo Nix twice. You get, Indianapolis, whoever twice. You get we really got to look at strength of schedule here, especially with stuff. I
completely agree. Come playoff time, strength of schedule is tantamount to be looking at for your handicaps. Prez, I love this discussion. You didn't hijack the show. You came with some high level stuff right here. Comment below whether you think Prez's breakdown on Bills to win the Super Bowl at 10-1. That's something you would follow? Is it something you would fade? I mean, the math makes a hell of a lot of sense. And if they get through Jacksonville, I'm with you, Prez. I like that path. I'm just concerned about this first game.
Yeah, listen, Dan, we spoke about this. We have a new segment on the best betting show ever. We launched it today. It'll probably only be around for one day, but basically we gave out future bets on that show. And, Joe Ranieri gave out the Boston Celtics. I think they are 33-1 to win it all. But listen to this, guys. They are 6-1 to win the East, which tells you a lot. It tells you betting Boston Celtics to win the whole thing now is a really good bet. and then hedge at the finals. Taking them 6-1 is absurd to win the East. That is a terrible, horrible bet. But I think at 34-1 to win it all, and we got Tatum potentially coming back. The team is like 22-13, give or take, already without him. I really like that bet too, guys.
All right.
I know Andy likes the future talk. I know that.
Sorry.
No, I like future talks, but Boston, this talk about Tatum coming back is truly laughable. It's laughable. Like, it's
okay. Let's have a laugh.
Leg.
You want to laugh?
Achilles injury, and you're going to come back and be effective. They're playing with fire.
You want to laugh? I'll tell you a laugh. This is what I'm at my parents' house. You want to know what I said to my parents? I'm 56 years old. I said to them this last night. I said, Mom and Dad, you named me Lawrence. It wasn't like I was your 900th son. Like I understand. I understand if you're like at, name 82, you have 81 sons.
Lawrence.
You've used up Dan. You've used up Andy. They named me Lawrence. I was their firstborn son, okay? They had the world to choose from. They could have gone with any name they wanted, and they picked Lawrence. And I want you to know what name they gave their second son. Anton. Like,
little all over the place.
You liked Lawrence better than Anton? Like, in the whole world of names, you decided that Lawrence was the single greatest male name on the planet? It's got 8 letters, 3 syllables. It slopes down. There's no power letters. It's got a stinking soft W in it. The letter L sucks.
Wait, Lawrence has 3 syllables?
Kid Lawrence.
Who's pronouncing Lawrence with 3 syllables? Lawrence.
2 syllables. I don't even know. I hate my freaking name.
Lawrence. What do you have up for
2 syllables. It doesn't rhyme with any word in the English language.
I think that's good. It's different.
Florence.
It's unique.
Florence is a pronoun. Okay.
Lawrence.
What do you have up for everyone?
Clients? $5 Tuesday.
So fun. I love doing this with you guys. We got a really great promo offer up for everybody. Ralph came on and talked about the $69 offer for a week, which is an incredible offer, but I can one up that offer. Joe Ranieri and I are doing a buy one, get one free. So if you buy a week of me, $99, you get a week of Joe for free. So that's $45 each for a full week. That includes every sport, every play. And Joe and Dan, I'm literally piggybacking on Joe Ranieri, Andy and Dan. I'm piggybacking on Joe. Like, Joe is like
He's
sports betting
rolling, dude.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
He's on fire.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
How well he's doing. He was the second most profitable bettor. His parents also suck at naming men.
Joe's
that's
fine.
A different story. So does yours, Dan. With that said, it's a buy one, get one free offer. Joe Ranieri is absolutely slaying it. And I got to tell you guys, you're going to hear me talk. When I come on next time, can we do a little bit of NBA? It's time to show off my NBA. Sure. It's time to show off my NBA wares. Everybody knows me as an NHL guy, an NFL guy. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm going on 4 years of winning NBA right now. I'm winning an NBA right now, this very minute. All I do is win an NBA. I won last night on the Clippers on the money line. They tried everything in their power to lose. They still couldn't lose. That's how good I'm doing in the NBA. Anyway, I got an NBA play up tonight. I also have an NHL 4% total. Ralph talks about his 4% NHL totals. I can't wait to buy I don't need to buy his play. I have back-end access. But I have a 4% total. I've won 5 straight in my 4% NHL totals. You guys can get that for $5 over at WagerTalk. Both of you guys, Florence rhymes with Prez, 805 Noodles. I love you. Thanks for having me, Dan and Andy. You guys are doing such a bang-up job. Guys, hit that like button. Hit that freaking like button. Okay. Anything else?
I think we're good, Lawrence. We're good.
Gone.
We're going to do some free plays.
Buddy. Enjoy Boca.
Stranger Things. All right. Let's do all around the world. Let's do some free plays. And then Dan and I are going to talk the ending of Stranger Things. We didn't want to tell everyone we're going to do this because we know sometimes the TV talk doesn't go over it that well. But
Why we're at the back end of the show.
We'll do it. Yeah, we're all NBA today with some free plays here. Sam Merrill over 14.5 points plus rebounds. He's gone over 5 out of the last 6. I love that he's averaging 26 minutes. They got a couple guys that are questionable for Cleveland. He's getting 5 rebound chances, 7.2 3-point attempts, and he's going to be playing against the Pacers backups. You think it was nice playing against the Pacers starters, Dan. He gets to play against the backups. The Pacers 24th allowing points and rebounds to shooting guards. Take a look at Sam Merrill. And listen, Dan, nothing says prop betting like a couple plays in the Wizards Magic game tonight, but the numbers make sense. Anthony Black over 1.5 made threes. I didn't put this as client play because it's a little juicy. This was a client play winner a couple nights ago. He's gone over in 8 out of 10 games with Suggs and Varner out of the lineup. He's getting 34 minutes, 6 3-point attempts per game. He's making 40% of those. And, he's facing the Wizards. So anytime you can take it over against the Wizards, you're looking good. And Bub Carrington, weirdly enough, I've had a lot of props on Bub Carrington, but we're going to take his 7.5 rebounds plus assist over in 8 out of 10 games with Keontae George out of the lineup. The only 2 games he went under, he got in foul trouble, and then they had a 30-point blowout when he didn't play his normal fourth quarter minutes. So you take those games out, and he averages 11 rebounds plus assists. And if you're worried about the blowout, Orlando has not won by double digits since November 25th. This is not a team that blows people out. So expect Bub Carrington to get his normal minutes and get over his rebounds and assist. So any thoughts about
see, that's what I said. Sam or Steve Merrill. That's
yeah.
what I was wondering.
Any thoughts about Garland points over? Listen, he hasn't gone over. He's gone over 3 times this season. I'm not playing an over on Garland until he shows he can score with anybody. It's on Holmes. I've none. I don't know. I don't know how he's doing. So all right. All right, Dan.
I do have his. We do like Jerron Holmes over his Amazon Global. There he is.
Yeah.
There's
15
our man.
years of experience. So.
I would love. What if he was a fan of the show and he was just like, "Oh my god, it's like the Leo DiCaprio meme where he's pointing at the screen."
All right, we got our $5 play that is up. It's a 4% NBA play. Several of you have got it. Someone already said in the chat they really appreciate the market watch with all those leans in that write up. So it's a very extensive write up. So appreciate you guys supporting. Let's get that winner tonight. But Dan and I are Stranger Things fans. We had the finale. They drew the season out over the entire month of December. You and I both watched.
I kind of liked it.
All right. What'd you think?
I liked how they dragged it out, honestly, with so you didn't have to binge it all at once. But I'll tell you what, Andy. Again, I'll try and keep it spoiler free for those of you who are still catching up. But the statute is up. It dropped over a week ago. So that finale, 2-ish hours long. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I understand that there's all this discourse. I was going back and forth with our man Chris Allen, behind the scenes. He wasn't really a fan of it. I personally think that we are so conditioned by shows like Game of Thrones that for there to be meaningful conclusions, like people have to die, there have to be consequences. Folks, this is a show that was about 80s cheese. No heroes died in the 80s cheesy movies. They all lived. They all had happily ever after. I thought the action was great. Sure, did some parts meander? Maybe, but it all tied together. I think the Duffer Brothers did an amazing job, Andy. I give it. There will never be perfection, but I'll give it 4.5 stars out of 5 as a fitting conclusion for a show for the past decade that came out of nowhere. I've loved, enjoyed the entire ride. I think it was a fitting conclusion, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. 4.5 stars out of 5.
I struggled to think of a show that had a finale better to encapsulate the entire show. Most of the time, finales are kind of a letdown. There's a Sopranos is the ultimate controversial. Breaking Bad, I think, is kind of one of the OGs. Like, they nailed that one. But Game of Thrones fell apart towards the end.
Ruined the show. The way that Game of Thrones end, like you could not love the ending of Stranger Things, and it doesn't ruin the show for you. The ending of Game of Thrones pissed on everything you watched for everything.
Dexter,
prior,
Dexter is a legendary finale that completely tanked the show. I'm with you. I didn't have high expectations for it, but boy, they landed the plane. They wrapped up the storylines. The way that the final fight was just incredible. The flashbacks just tied everything up. It was the perfect way to do it. I don't think you could have ended the show. And I mean, they had a tough task. That's a decade. This show has literally been going. They started with kids, and now they're all adults. And how do you end it? And it was fantastic.
That was really the show, if you think 10 years ago, that put Netflix original programming on the map. Like before, it was just kind of direct that they were putting out. This was the first time that a Netflix original had mass appeal, that had people signing up for Netflix simply to watch a show that was just dropped in the middle of the summer that no one even knew was coming. So, I'm right there with you, Andy. I know we won't nerd out too much. There's all these conspiracy theories on if the finale was actually faked and people were prisoners in Vecna's mind. So apparently there's this whole theory, Andy, going out that there's going to be a secret episode that drops tomorrow that will talk about the conformity gate theory. So we'll see. We'll know tomorrow. Does it drop or not? Yeah, I'm still upset about Game of Thrones too. Bran,
Game of Thrones
really? Bran's the freaking king? Bran, what are we doing here? Seinfeld ending was terrible, by the way, but they redeemed themselves with the Curb Your Enthusiasm ending. It tied the two together. It was pretty damn good.
It's hard to end series that have been going on for so long, and it's amazing how many times they get it just dead ass wrong. So, all right, that is going to do it for us. I am going to go record this the prop line, the first episode of the prop line. Give me a week before we really dial this thing in. I'm working with new graphics and new segments and everything, but we're gonna deep dive into some things. We're gonna give out a 9.5 to 1 same game parlay. Do you know? I almost hit that friggin' same game parlay on our show yesterday. Isaiah Stewart hit 1-3. He went 1 for 4, but the Pistons blew out the Knicks. Like I told everybody the Pistons were going to blow out the Knicks in that one. So, all right. Thank you so much. Actually, that's a good point. The FCS finale last night was fantastic.
Actually, was pretty damn good.
It was really, really good. Really good. So, all right. Thank you very much. Appreciate all you guys. And again, put in the comment section, Jesse, and your WagerTalk username if you think Jesse's pick is going to be right. And then put Andy, your WagerTalk username, if you think Andy's going to be right in the head-to-head. And we'll pick a winner. You get a free 3-day pass. Dan, thank you so much. We're going to do it again tomorrow, same time, same place. Good luck on all your bets. Get as many $5 plays as you feel comfortable with. Always bet responsibly. Don't put too much of your bankroll all on one Tuesday night, but it is a great time to try out new handicappers and cash some bets. Good luck on your plays. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Take care.